if you're going through domestic violence or anything like that, that there is hope, there is a way out. You know, just don't sit there and like feel down about yourself, and don't let that person stop you from wanting to leave. You know, of course, do it carefully. You know, like my mama said, always keep a box of money underneath the bed or something like that.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Could you kindly tell us what your name is?
I'm Rojo. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And I'm Renee, of course. And we are down by the beach having some wine and drinks and just, catching up on life. And we were actually having a discussion before about what most people go through in relationships, and in terms of domestic violence. And you mentioned you were married before. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, I was married for a few years, and I loved him very much. But mental illness, like when they say like sickness and in health, they really mean that. Yeah, but don't fight any demons that you cannot handle. If you got your own demons, especially, and he had some demons. He had a lot of like mental disorders, and when he was on his medication, he was great. When he was not on his medication, homie lost his mind. Like at one point, this man, I remember I went back home to visit my family, and it was like a 14-hour drive. It was a 14-hour drive.
Yeah.
I have a friend with me. We were stopping at hotels to take a nap, whatever, blah, blah. We're fine. I was just a little like jazzed up because I had some caffeine and I'm not supposed to.
Yes.
At best. Next thing I know, this man's telling me he's running down the street in his underwear with fake crosses that he made. And he was praying to God that I was okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, have you ever thought about sitting down and just not doing that? Like I just a thought.
Yeah.
I know he can't. I know he couldn't in that moment. But yeah, that was some wild. It's just one thing. He became very abusive due to his own mental illness. But also just like being abusive in general from the way that he was raised by his mom.
Yeah.
And like his mom's a narcissist. So
yeah.
Even though I wouldn't go as far as diagnosing him as a narcissist, as much as like being a survivor of narcissistic abuse, and not being able to channel that or talk about that, and like basically being in survival mode.
Yes.
Versus calling him an actual narcissist, because he did still have some forms of empathy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And it was like, like he would show remorse for things that he would do or whatever. But overall, yeah, like he was just thrown off, and he was abusive. He was financially abusive. Like, and I'm a professional dominatrix.
Yes.
I am also a wrestler. I'm a model. I've been published well over 30 times. Like he met me this way, and he over time was just like, I want you to stop doing sex work.
Yes.
Mind you, I'm not full service, and I don't shame anybody that is, but that's not what I do. Like we had conversations. I was very communicative. I was like, this is what I'm doing. And it, like I do a lot of foot stuff. I do a lot of wrestling, and wrestling mostly other women. Occasionally guys will book me, to do wrestling.
Yes.
And it'll be male versus female.
Yes.
But it's never like I'm sleeping with them or anything like that,
Yes.
And like he would tell me things like if I bought money with like the money I made from sex work, he'd be like, I don't want to eat that food because you bought it with sex work money. And I'm like, starve.
So when he is telling you this, because this is what you do, when he is telling you all these things, he is, for me as a woman, I don't care how much money I make. I would still need my man to be the head of the house. So when he is telling you all these things that, I cannot use the money, that what was he doing?
Not a damn thing. Not making any money to make me stop. Like that's what I told him. I was like, I will stop if you give me security. And then on top of that, I'm one of those women that will still find a way to make some money on the side. It might not be sex work, but I'm gonna make some type of money, and I'm gonna keep it on the side just in case.
Yes.
Because I don't trust that anything can happen. Like even if like let's say hypothetically he put his money into stocks and the stocks went down.
Yes.
Like I want to have something.
Yes, that you can always lean back to.
Exactly, and it's just me being safe, and in general. But like, I would like a guy to be the head of the household, but at the same time, I still want to make my money on the side.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But with him, he had qualms against the world. Like, and that's another thing. I will say this, and I'm saying this to everybody: do not, for the love of God, do not ever date somebody that is jealous of you.
Oh, that's yes.
Never, ever, ever. If you get an inkling for a moment that they are jealous and they do not communicate that to you, and I mean jealous of you, being jealous of other people, that's a whole nother thing. But being jealous of you as a partner, never in your life date somebody like that. I did it, and it was the most miserable experience in my life. Imagine having any type of accomplishment. Like, I was in a movie. I put him in the movie as well, but I was in a freaking movie that is on Tubi now. If you want to go see it, House of Cat, it's really nice. It's a 6-part series. That's also a movie. It's all tied together. But yeah, basically, like, I told him about it. I'm like really happy about it, accomplishing things, and he's like, "Oh, I guess congrats for you." Like it will put me down almost sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't really have a celebration, and I'm like, really, is it really that big of an accomplishment? Like, it was second guess myself.
Now let's go back. How long were you married for?
About 3 years.
About 3 years. And what was that last straw for you? What made you? What was that instant where you were like, okay, this is it. I'm done.
When he killed my cat.
Wow. He killed your cat?
Yeah, so basically, ironically, I was in my hometown for my aunt's funeral, who died of cancer. Unbeknownst to me, my cat also had cancer. But when I was leaving, I'm not saying she was breathing weird, but she was acting a little off. Mind you, it's also his birthday weekend, so I left my credit card that had like over $800 on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, look, get yourself something, some dinner. I'm sorry I can't be here. And mind you, I have asked this man for a couple of weeks now, like, for comfort.
Yes.
Straight up comfort. He wouldn't give me a hug or anything. He was just being very avoidant. And I was basically battling that alone. And I said, look, I have to go to my aunt's funeral. Like, please take care of my cat. Here's the money. Please also go get yourself something, nice. Get yourself a dinner. It's your birthday. Yeah. I called that man every day. He was always short with me and everything else. For those 5 days, my cat was having trouble breathing because the cancer that she had that was masked on her breast were attacking her lungs.
Yes.
He kept telling me she was okay in these brief instances or whatever. Turns out, my ex-best friend of 10 years, he and her were talking. Turns out that they were talking shit about me. He was FaceTiming her for 4 hours.
What?
All kinds of stuff, just neglecting my cat. When I got home, mind you, he keeps telling me my cat's okay. He had put 3 cans of cat food in her bowl, and she hadn't touched any of it. He didn't even look. So she's having trouble breathing. So for her final days, I had to put her down on May 5th of 2023. For those last 5 days, I fought as hard as I could. I kept her on the oxygen chamber.
Yes.
She just couldn't stabilize anymore. And I had a full diagnostic done on my cat. My cat was perfectly healthy. She was 13. Nothing was wrong with her. It was literally only the cancer attacking her lungs.
Yeah.
They told me if she would have been brought in within those 5 days that I was gone, she would have been alive, because she was still able to breathe on her own at that point.
Yes.
After a while, it just attacked her lungs for days. And he cried his little eyes out when we had to put her down and everything. And I'm like, dude, this is your fault.
Yeah.
If you weren't busy talking shit, if you weren't busy on like dating websites and like trying to get with my ex-best friend and listening to her say all this false information, which another thing, she lied about me being with a man in my hometown when I'm there for my aunt's funeral. He believes it. And a few days after that, with the cat incident, he ends up trying to, commit suicide.
Yeah, this is like a really fucked up encounter that I actually didn't anticipate it to be this packed. It has a lot of layers. It has a lot of layers, but I guess that's life. And
yeah, life is like an onion.
Yeah,
like Shrek
I'm so
says.
sorry that you've gone through all this. So where does it stand now? You're going through the divorce, and how are you actually, you as a person? How are you feeling?
I've been through trauma most of my life. I have CPTSD, but the trauma made me funny, so I'm also a comedian.
Certified comedian.
Yeah, I've done stand-up before. I was actually supposed to do stand-up on tonight, actually, but I don't know yet. I'm thinking about checking it out. I would definitely like to go. It's in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I don't have an act prepared, but then again, I never really did. I just tell stories about my life. Shit gets crazy.
Yeah.
And I find shit funny. Like, a good example with my ex-husband, like, this is a traumatic experience. He tried to hold me captive for 2 days, but the key word is on tried. How do you get your ass?
People in life, I think, are going through so much that we never really get to talk about. And you just meet somebody new that you've never met before, and you unpack all these things. And I am left dumbfounded, actually. Like, how can one person like go through all these things. You can see somebody walking by the streets, everything's fine, smiling, but deep down, I think there is a lot to unpack from people. And
But yeah, with that though, as I said, the word was tried.
yeah,
I whooped his ass. I whooped his ass for 2 days. Like, you're just like, let me leave. Because that's the thing, he can't fight. So every time I try to leave, he would pull me back in, but we would fight and he would lose every time. Like, at one point I grabbed him and dragged him across the house and I was like, sir, let me go to my friend's house down the street. I don't want me to be here.
oh my days.
And he's like, no, I'm in control. I'm like, are you? Are you really? Because I just pulled some of your hair out.
Are
like,
you okay? Are you okay? Are you like really, really okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I go to therapy.
Is it working? Because I think when it comes to mental health as well, and I think it's a whole massive thing that we should talk about mental health, which everybody should put their mental health first. Are you okay? And I've asked this so many times because
Yeah.
unloading or unpacking whatever you've been through, that is quite a lot.
Yeah, it's traumatic for a lot of people, but for me personally, like, yeah, it's traumatic. It's not the worst thing I've been through, but like, it's traumatic in a different way. And I mean this in the sense of, like, I was supposed to, like, have my white wedding and be happy, have a family and all that other stuff. So it's traumatic in the way of something new being that I lost my husband, but I also, in a sense, gained a new sense of importance, independence, and all kinds of other stuff. Like, it made me realize that there's more after going through a divorce or being divorced. Like, I'm having a great time. I'm not saying I'm in the streets, but
What?
I'm having fun.
What are you looking forward to in the coming days? What is the one thing that you really are passionate? Like, oh, I'm looking forward to this in the next chapter.
I guess, well, I'm going to school to do UX design and coding. So
lovely.
Learning a lot about that. I still do my dominatrix stuff, so I'm also looking forward to traveling. I love traveling. I love meeting new clients, and hearing their stories and, like, what their imagination has to drum up. And I do a lot of clips too. So
Yeah.
the majority of what I do is clips. So I'm going to be going to Tampa again next month. I'm going to try to, like, continue traveling, maybe more to Los Angeles, Las Vegas, stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. And also my birthday. It's my Dirty 30.
Dirty 30?
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking any plans set up for?
Might do a boat, might do a barbecue. Definitely want to do a scavenger hunt for my friends based off of me to meet at a location point.
Lovely.
And I want to get a hotel for the weekend in Miami.
Oh, lovely. Now, one thing I'll promise you, because I don't live in Miami, I do not live in the US. I love these conversations by the beach. But should I find myself in the US during that time, I promise I'll fly over to come and celebrate your Dirty 30.
Yeah, you absolutely. Come through. I love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the conversation. And really, I hope that the therapy is working. And I hope that you find you're a beautiful woman. You deserve the world. And I hope you get somebody who really appreciates you for you. The world is too large. The world is too big. There is somebody for everyone. And I hope you really get that. I hope you get the real love that you really deserve.
Oh, yeah. I still believe in love. Like, I love watching my friends get engaged, get married. Like, I also have my platonic friends that I do love as well. Like, I'm not alone and I have a great support system. And also therapy is good too.
I'm happy to hear that.
But yeah, like, I'm doing okay. Like, I've been through it. I've processed it. Like, just know that if you're going through domestic violence or anything like that, that there is hope. There is a way out. Just don't sit there and, like, feel down about yourself, and don't let that person stop you from wanting to leave. Of course, do it carefully. Like my mama said, always keep a box of money underneath the bed or something like that. Whatever you need. Even if you in a secure relationship, keep that shit on the side in case you ever got to leave. Because if you ever around and find out, he can come home to an empty house and you're going to be on a plane getting flued out. That's all I'm saying.
Do you need a hug? Do you want a hug? Sure. Oh. Cheers. Bye for now, guys.
Bye.